Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Keatsman, your humble host. We got Garner in for Mark today and through next week as Mark is on vacation, and I know he's listening. He's on his way to the airport. They're going on vacation. He is lucky to be going on vacation. I may have saved the man's life last night. More on that in a moment as disaster nearly struck before first pitch at Kauffman Stadium with all the radio boys lined up in a row. We're going to talk briefly in a little bit about Sharice Davids. Where the hell is she these days? She's my congresswoman, and why she's not talking about the issues of these protests and Los Angeles' riots. It's pretty cool. Mayor Q today telling Pete Mundo he's not going to participate. I like that. I heard his stance. I like that. We'll talk some unemployment stats and new jobs reports, foreign-born versus native-born. You're not going to believe what's happened in the first 5 months of the Trump presidency. Also, at 10:30, my podcast is called Kevin Keatsman Has Issues. My radio show, my old one, used to be called Between the Lines. I've always liked to take statements and read things or hear what people say and sort of interpret it. And what does this mean? And I think through the years, I've been pretty good at it. Not 100% or anything like that, but you kind of understand buzzwords in press releases. You understand how ad agencies work or marketers or people like that, what it is that they're trying to say or not say. I read this Rubik's Cube puzzle of a statement by Clark Hunt, and I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't know if you read his statement or heard his statement. We're going to talk about that coming up in a half hour. We'll check in with Garner at the end of the show. What's in a name? That's your topic today, Garner. What is in a name? So I'll let you think about that.
Yeah, I'll think on that one.
What's in a name? We're going to play with Garner today. We will start with just briefly last night meeting Guy Benson and going to the Royals game and his producer Christine. Lovely people, wonderful folks, and we had a nice time. My wife Jessica went, and I told him before the game started, that's it, the Royals are beat. My wife famously over a year and a half went to 16 Royals games in a row where they lost. Now, they were bad during that time period, but still 16 consecutive games in a row that you attended the Royals actually lost over a year and a half period. They're terrible when she's there. They're 0-3 this year when she goes. It ain't happening. So the Royals, I'm going to keep telling you, you need to pay my wife, Jessica, a stipend of some sort to stay the hell away. You have no chance if she's there. And it didn't take long. 5 runs in the second inning for the Yankees, and the game was a bust. But the real excitement was not on the field because the Royals were dreadful. Before the game, we're seated sort of at the end of the Royals dugout. I think we were in row S, which is about 20 rows back from the field. The big screen is there, and we're where Jack Caglione is playing first base, which is his first time playing first base at Kauffman Stadium. Well, when you're done taking in or throwing the ball around on the infield, this is before first pitch, you throw the ball up in the stands. Well, now it's a pretty good chuck. You got to throw it up and over the net. As the game's starting, nobody's really paying attention to that yet. Now, as the game would go on, every half inning, a ball came right into the area where we were sitting. It was crazy. It's a great place to sit because the ball is always coming up there. The first baseman always throws it in. But we didn't really know that at the start. And we're standing up. We're standing there. Mark has got this Golden Corral chicken buffet in front of him all over his lap. Like he's just sitting there. I mean, he is the happiest guy on earth. He's watching Jack Caglione take in for this. He's got a total man crush on Jack Caglione. Every time he comes to the plate, everything he does, he's video rolling, just so excited. And there must have been, if there was 6, there was 8 giant chicken tenders. It was the family basket. There's no doubt it was the family basket. And maybe a pound of fries. This tray was so big, it had an exterior carton container thing for 4 drinks. So I think it typically came with 4 drinks. It was for 4 people. He's just going to enjoy this all night. And it's on his lap. And I'm standing because it hasn't been first pitch yet. And I've said hi to Guy, and he's a seat down. Mark's on the aisle. And there's people still walking down to their seats. And I hear people get excited and go, here it comes. And I kind of turn my shoulder, and I look up just to my right. And I'm not kidding you. Like 8 feet away, there's a ball flying right at Mark. Like right at him. He's next to me. And I reach up to either swat it, whatever, and I almost catch it, but I just didn't see it in enough time. I would have caught it this is with my right hand. Man, I think it would have conked him on the head, or the guy walking down the aisle who had a beer in one hand and, of course, the giant plate of smothered nachos in the other. It was going everywhere. Like, I don't think that dude was going to get hurt. Either his complete tray was going to hit the tray and go all over Mark, or it was just going to hit Mark in the head. He didn't know. So Mark's on vacation today, and I didn't get a proper thank you for saving his life last night, but it could have hit him in the head. He had no idea what was going on. And the scramble for the ball was really unique because it dropped right down sort of at my feet. And if I'd grabbed it, I saw a girl coming up the aisle. I was obviously giving it to this girl, but I was mostly pushing the adults away. They were coming down the aisle trying to get everybody wants the ball. You know, it's like literally next to Mark on the ground, and this girl got it, which made me very happy. From behind me, I get shoved. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Guy Benson's trying to jump on this ball? Guy Benson is going through me to get a ball from Jack Caglione. What is going on here? And I turn around, and it's like an 11-year-old boy, and he was so mad at me for blocking him out. And I tried to tell him, I said, dude, there's a little girl right here. She's younger than you. I was hoping she would get the ball. But the kid went and stormed off and pouted. He was sitting like 8 seats down. He came flying by everybody. I was pleased to know it wasn't Guy Benson. That was good. The only other real action of the night, and this was bad, Slugger came to our row. Like, I'd love to tell you about the ball game, but the Royals were awful. Slugger came to our row. You can't make this up. This is only the Yankees. And some kid that's a Yankee fan, he couldn't have been 8 years old, comes down the aisle. You know, he's mascot-aged kid, right? Not your 14-year-old is like, come on, Dad, don't make me take a picture with the mascot. No, this is like mascot-age kid. He's got Yankee garb all over him. He comes running down the aisle to meet Slugger. Slugger's all in. This kid starts beating Slugger up, punching him right and left. And some lady with a headset on, one of the ushers or whatever, comes flying down the row and grabs the kid by the arm and says, get away from Slugger. They had to take an 8-year-old Yankee fan away from Slugger. He was trying to beat him up. Yankee fans, they learn young. It was one of those nights at Kauffman Stadium, and the Yankees beat up the Royals pretty badly for the second night in a row. They'll try to avoid the sweep tonight. All right, on my plate, in addition, we'll talk Guy Benson more tomorrow on the show because we've got the big event tonight. We've been talking the last couple of days about Sharice Davids being so quiet about all these protests and the goings-on about ICE and whatnot. And she is professionally quiet. I don't know how she's the congresswoman in District 3. She's a complete and absolute do-nothing. Like, I'd criticize her for her policies and stuff, but she doesn't really do anything except vote with what leadership tells her to do. And she stays quiet a lot of times on things. And this is where you know that she has no guts at all. This is a feckless, spineless congresswoman that goes along with the status quo, and here's how you know. She can't be for this. This has to be killing her. Her struggle is her T-shirt. She's Native American and gay. She's got all kinds of grievances in the United States of America ahead of heterosexual male illegal aliens that have committed crimes. In fact, her favorite T-shirt is all her heroes were colonists. All her heroes killed colonists. And now we have illegal aliens in Los Angeles telling television cameras that they're colonists, that they're here to turn this into a socialist or communist country. Those that aren't are claiming this is their native land when they're from Mexico. I wonder how she feels as a Native American having Mexicans illegally in our country committing crimes, going on television saying, this is our native land and we are not leaving it. I wonder how she feels about that. I mean, I'd love to have her in this chair I'm looking at across this studio and ask her, how do you feel about the Mexicans illegally in this country committing crimes, being arrested by ICE, turning it into a spectacle, and taking away your heritage by saying this is their land, not yours? How do you feel now, Sharice? Can you speak up on this? If any, not Mayor, not Cleaver, not Mark Alford, not anybody else. No, the person to comment on this crisis in America is Sharice Davids. I want to know what you think, Sharice. You going with your party on this one? You going to turn your back on all your Native American friends and family? Because I know what they're thinking about these folks. They don't think the Mexicans have the right to this land. They do not believe that for a second. No, they don't. And they really don't care about the illegal criminals coming across and their rights and whether ICE sends them home. And in fact, I'm going to guess if you polled Native Americans today, it'd be about 80% say send their asses home. Get them out of here. Where's Sharice Davids? Now, if it wasn't anti-ICE or something to do with these criminal aliens, if this was Pride Month celebration, she'd be there. She's all in. Boy, how about the poor Pride people? What a terrible go this month for Pride. They got defunded by corporations, and now, dang it, these illegal aliens are taking your month from you. You're nowhere. You're not in the news. It's not happening. Your parades don't exist. There's no media coverage. Nothing for the Pride people. What a terrible, terrible month for Pride. And Sharice Davids is oh so quiet. And we get the brilliant Mina Kimes from ESPN who decides she's going to speak out on something. Is it Act Blue or one of these social media things is for leftists? You don't need to know who she is. Just know she's a sports reporter that's a leftist. And she's really upset with the coverage that she's seeing of this event in Los Angeles. And she posted, the disparity between what's actually happening in Los Angeles and the way it's being mischaracterized is one of the biggest stress tests of modern media in recent memory. Robot social accounts, AI, old clips, declining literacy. It's like seeing a broken emergency response system hit by a storm. Really? Well, how did you feel about social media in 2020 and they're hiding Hunter's laptop and burying that story and taking the New York Post off of social media and taking the sitting president of the United States off of social media? Really? This is the stress test? This little thing in Los Angeles? Because all of a sudden, social media is close. It's not yet, but it's close to 50-50. When 5 years ago, it was 75-25 controlled by Democrats, and you had everything going your way because you controlled all that stuff. You know, the Democrats are expert about botted social accounts, AI, old clips, declining literacy, and media stress tests. They're the inventors of this. And now that it's about 50-50, they just don't like seeing the other stuff. We had control of all of this for a while, and now we don't. Let's have some fun today. You want to join the conversation? 913-408-7957. That's 408-957 on Uncanceled. I heard Pete say earlier that his Father's Day on Sunday is going to be watching the U.S. Open golf tournament taking place in Pennsylvania at Oakmont. Gary Woodland from Topeka, who had a lesion on his brain, was the 2019 U.S. Open winner, went to the University of Kansas. Great philanthropist, family man, wonderful, wonderful guy, has made an unbelievable comeback to the world of golf and the sport of golf and has been okay this year. He's played and he's been in some tournaments and he's getting it back, but he's particularly good at U.S. Open courses, and not everybody is teed off yet, but he's a little more than halfway through round one, and he's one shot off the lead. He's 3 under par, which is very, very good at the U.S. Open. If you can't cheer for Gary Woodland, then you can't cheer for anyone. He has been through a lot, and that would be amazing if he hangs around and is just in it on Sunday afternoon. Pretty cool stuff. I love golf. Also want to give a shout-out to some people that I've known for more than 25 years. They're great folks. Jim and Joan Cotty. They own a business in Kansas City called Smoke and Fire, and I've known them for a long, long, long period of time. And I used to have Jim on in the summer times once a week on my sports radio show, and we did segments about grilling and smoking. He's taught me so much about how to make a better steak in my backyard. I'm not great. I don't really smoke things. I'm not a competition barbecue guy, but the things that he taught me through the years are unbelievable. And I just want to welcome them as new sponsors to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. It is great to have them on board. I've known them forever. They are great people. Sometimes when you shop local, you actually save money and you get the best service and the best products anywhere, and that's Smoke and Fire. They're at 119th and Metcalf in Overland Park. They have a Father's Day sale on this weekend. Dads, it's what you want. They have all kinds of accessories, barbecue accessories, but they have the best seasonings and spices and rubs anywhere. It's like a little mini food market as well. If you've never been there, go check it out. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, before Father's Day. Smoke and Fire. Think family, think friends. 119th and Metcalf in Overland Park. These are great people. Joan is awesome too, and Sam is there. Their son. It's truly a family business. There's nobody in this city that knows more about grilling, smoking, cooking, and helping you make the most of it, even if you're an amateur. They've done that with me. So check them out. 119th and Metcalf in Overland Park. Thank you, Smoke and Fire. Welcome aboard Uncanceled here on KCMO Talk Radio. Some crazy jobs numbers are out. We've talked about the good signs in the economy, and they're everywhere. But I can't think of one that's much more indicative than this of what's really going on. If we want to pay attention to what's going on in America, this is in 5 months since Trump took over, just under 5 months. We're a week shy right now of 5 months. And during that time period foreign-born jobs are down 195,000. If you're from another country, the employment for foreign-born workers is down 195,000. If you are native-born in the United States over these 5 months, the job hiring is up 1.25 million. So everybody that said, oh, this is going to be terrible, we're not going to be able to fill the jobs, how are we going to do this, what's going to happen? Well, foreign-born folks are going home, some of them on their own. I get it. I love it when they say, oh, these people are living in fear every day. Well, you made a life decision to come here illegally. In fear of what? You knew when you came here you were breaking the law coming here if you came here illegally. If you are illegal and living in fear, go home. That's easy. That's easy. You did this to you. Nobody did this to you but you. You are here illegally. If you're uncomfortable with that, if you live in fear that ICE is going to knock on your door, go. Flee. There's plenty of ways to go. They'll buy you a plane ticket. More than happy to send you home. Just go. I'm sick of this narrative. Oh, they're living in fear that ICE is coming after them. Go home. You don't belong here. You came here illegally. Sorry. And I've got no problem with law-abiding citizens that are going to stay here illegally. We'll see how this plays out. I don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 years, 3 years, and I don't know what it's like to be living in any other country illegally. This has not been my experience in the world. And I know it hasn't been yours. And I don't know anybody that can imagine going to another country illegally and wanting to live there illegally, avoiding authorities. I don't know anybody that does this. But as we see these jobs numbers, that's fantastic. Native-born Americans are filling the jobs. That's happening. And I'm good with that. Since the election, okay, that 195,000 is since Inauguration Day. Since the election of Donald Trump, foreign-born workers are down 625,000. Folks, that's people that are leaving. We don't really have any stats out there yet on self-deportation. A lot of it's going to be hard to track. Many people are going to go back the same way they came here. They're going to do it in the shadows, and they're just going to be gone, like they were never here. It's going to be impossible to count. I mean, this is really good. We're seeing incredible numbers of the annualized inflation rate under Donald Trump is 1.4%. Well, the target is 2%. So if we take the 5 months and we look at what's happening under Trump, we have like way better than target inflation rates. Jerome Powell can lower interest rates at this point. 1.4% is the annualized inflation rate. Under Joe Biden for his tenure, it was 5.7. I mean, these are just shocking and dramatic numbers, and we love them. It's spirited, it's uplifting, it feels good. Look, I think Trump is going to take some shots in some polling. I think we're going to see some bad polling about these riots. It is very lazy and easy for Americans to see unrest in our biggest cities and blame it on the president. That is as old and easy as anything in America ever. So Trump's polling is going to go backwards. It is his job to re-educate America over the next 4 summers, because they're going to do this for 4 summers, to re-educate everybody what the laws are, the laws that are on the books. And all they're doing is enforcing the laws, and who wouldn't support that? Now, when we come back, I'm going to try to dissect the statement from Clark Hunt on the stadium. It was convoluted and messy. We'll do that next on Uncanceled. Great to be in the seat today. Thanks for listening to Uncanceled. Looking forward to the big event with Guy Benson tonight. Garner in for Mark. A little cloudy out there today. They said a little chance of rain before noon, but I think we're going to be okay after that. I hope you're having a great day and looking forward to your Father's Day weekend, whether you're one of the great ladies listening to us today that has a husband or a dad that you're shopping for or doing something like that, or planning a big day for, or dad yourself, going to kick your feet up and take it easy. We hope it's a great, great weekend for you. I've been trying to dissect exactly what to make of what we've seen from the Missouri House passing the bill that the Senate came up with for 50% of funding to the Royals and Chiefs for new facilities. And the Royals put out a pretty normal statement that we're focusing on what's in the best interest of the team. We're going to evaluate this plan in full detail, and it's an important piece of our decision-making process. Great. I think we all recognize that the Royals' first choice and foremost choice was to be in downtown or very near downtown in an area of density in Kansas City. That's been their goal and their wish all along. We recognize that. They have stated as such. The Chiefs haven't stated much. You know, I went back and reviewed from a year ago the plan that they unveiled for what they called, quote, a reimagined Arrowhead Stadium. And 90% of that was outside the stadium. It was canopies, it was walkways, it was new parking access. They want different kinds of ramps and traffic flow and all these different things. Great things, I guess, for the fans. Some of these pavilions they were going to build were money-generating centers on game day, certainly. But there was very little inside the stadium. In fact, inside the stadium, the reimagined Arrowhead that they promoted a year ago, the reimagined Arrowhead, the first thing they said the money would go toward is new ribbon boards. The second thing was new jumbotrons. That's disappointing. I didn't say anything about a roof or covering seats or doing this. And then it said they were going to remodel their suites, completely remodel the suites. There you go. We can find a way to make these suites a little bigger, put more people in them, and make more money. That's it. Now, how many people does that touch? We've also learned from House members that the Chiefs apparently and their lobbyists told them 41% of season ticket holders are from Kansas. That sounds low to me, except wait for this part. We don't know what percentage are from Missouri, and I'm not sure they told them that. I think they left them the impression that 59% are from Missouri. And that's not the case. The Chiefs frequently brag that they have season ticket holders in all 50 states. And people travel the country and come here. Companies own tickets that are based out of state. We have people in Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas that have season tickets by big numbers. I'm curious if 41% is actually the majority, if that's more than Missouri. And then let's ask this question. Forget the percentage of season ticket holders. What about the revenue? Where does the revenue come from? The big expensive suites that they sell. Is that the CEO of Garmin who lives in Kansas that makes sure they have a big suite out there? Is it the Cerner and now Oracle people that have their offices and whatnot in Kansas or did? I don't know. I'm just asking. It seems to me that a lot of the wealthiest people in Kansas City live at Hallbrook or Southern Overland Park or some of these big addresses, Mission Hills. We know where they are. I don't know, but I'll bet you well over 50% of the Chiefs' revenue comes from Kansas. So as we're looking at the Chiefs statement, I'm like, I don't know what Clark Hunt is going for here. I really don't. But I sent this as a text to 3 friends and asked them, what do you think Clark Hunt is saying with this statement? Now, this was after I got home from the Royals game last night. Only one of them responded. Maybe the others are like, shut up, radio boy. We don't care about what you do for a living. I get that. My friends are like that. It's cool. It's great. We don't care. We know you're trying to use what we say on the air. I got it. They're my friends. They can bust my chops anytime they want. But Clark Hunt delivered such a disheveled Rubik's Cube of a statement, I don't know what to make of it. He said he was grateful to Governor Kehoe for, quote, this piece of the overall effort. And everything else there from there on was negative or had trigger words that sounded bad to me. While there is still work to be done, right, that's him taking a shot at Missouri. You're only offering me 50%. I got 70% in Kansas. There's work to be done. Where's the other 20, guys? I mean, that's the first comment he makes in his statement is, where the hell's the other 20% coming from? That's what that means. While there is still work to be done, and trust me, Kehoe's not signing this today. They already said he's going to take a while to sign this. That means he's going to have a conversation with Clark Hunt. The first thing Clark Hunt is going to tell the governor is, who are you going to pressure to get me the other 20%? Thank you for the 50. That ain't enough. I need 20% more. Is it coming from Jackson County? I'll get to that in a moment. While there is still work to be done, this, quote, enables the Chiefs to continue exploring potential options to consider remaining in Missouri. What? I don't even know what that means. This enables the Chiefs to continue exploring potential options to consider remaining in Missouri. Good Lord. That is a mess. And that's not even a double negative. That's like a quadruple negative, one after the other. Immediately, one of my three buddies texts me, says, that's it. It's done. They're staying in Missouri. I'm like, wait, what? That's what you read in that statement? That's it. It's done. They're staying in Missouri. The first thing he said, there is work to be done. You're only at 50%. He didn't mention 50%, but that's what that means. The work to be done is I got 70 over there. I got 50 here. It's not equal yet. How am I going to get it? Well, in Jackson County, Jonathan Patterson, who's the Speaker of the House, immediately came out and said it's time for Jackson County to have a vote. They need to come up with the other 20% to keep the Chiefs in Kansas. We did the majority here, but we need help from the county and the city to keep them, or we're going to lose them. From the Jackson County Legislature, Deron McGee said, there's going to be no vote for either team this year. Wait, what? What, Jackson County? You're looking at next April? Having something on the ballot, maybe for the Royals or the Chiefs? You're now going to ask them to wait almost another year. And House Minority Leader Ashley Ahn in Jefferson City, who's a Democrat, got this right. I'll give her credit. She said, we bent over backwards for these teams. They gave us a June 30th deadline, and we met it. In other words, they treat us like crap, but we met their deadline. She says, now they need to adhere to the same deadline and let us know where they're going to go by June 30th. Amen, sister. That's exactly right. You bent over backwards. You caved. You gave them the 50%, which is not popular across the state of Missouri in any meaningful way. And now Jackson County is saying it'll be maybe next April before they can vote on anything for the Chiefs to stay. And the Chiefs now, are they going to make an announcement and say, we're on hold till next April? If that happens, Kansas, you got to put your middle finger up and say, that's it, you're done. It's over. Good luck to you with your vote. You want to risk this 20% on a vote, or do you want to take the sure thing in Kansas? It's on. You got until June 30th. Maybe you extend it till mid-July or the end of July. Give them 30 more days to mull it over. But if you're Kansas, you look at the Chiefs and you say, this is it. You will decide now. We're not going to sit here and have you vote in Jackson County. If you're 100% sure you're going to pass a vote, wait until next April and have your vote. But we're done. The conversation's over here. Our star bonds are expiring. It's over. If you want the sure thing 70%, you join us now. And we'll do our best to find you another 5 or 10% from Wyandotte County or Kansas City, Kansas, or in any other way that we can, in tax incentives, something else. We'll help you. We'll try to get you to 80. We'll work on that. You've got 50 from one state, 70 from the other. Nothing's changed. The deadline is still June 30th. Kansas has said, Ty Masterson told Pete Mundo, I may extend this for days but not a year. Maybe 30 days or 60 days they'll extend the star bonds. But Kansas has got to toughen up, and they'll be doing us all a favor, and I don't care whether Kansas gets it or not. If they toughen up and the Chiefs say no thanks and they stay and they want to cling to a Jackson County vote next April, good for the Chiefs. That would be them saying 50% is good enough, we want to renovate Arrowhead, but at least we'll know. At least we'll know. Somebody, somewhere, in some entity has to stand up to these people at some point. The offers are on the table. There is no sweetening the Missouri pot anytime soon. That's pretty clear. Mayor Lucas has said he'll give them the rental car tax that built T-Mobile Center downtown when it expires. Really? Well, when's that? That's not now. He said we can give them that tax through committee without a vote. We'll just extend the tax and we can give that. I think he was talking Royals more than Chiefs to build a downtown ballpark. But the city says maybe it can come up with something through the rental car tax without a vote. But there's just, the funding is still a problem. And the first thing I read from Clark Hunt is, quote, while there is still work to be done. That to me was Clark Hunt saying, thank you very much. This is awesome. You did this. It ain't enough. Where's the rest coming from? Owners don't turn down a free 20% 20 miles away. They just don't. 20% of a $3 billion stadium is $600 million. You think they're going to turn that down to stay in Missouri? $600 million. on the total project. Wow, this thing's getting wild. And we thought it was going to wrap up. And the people in Missouri, the politicians all did a victory lap last week. It's done. It's over. It's done. Well, if it's done like that, ask yourself this question. Why isn't Mike Kehoe signing this immediately? I don't think Kehoe wants to sign it until he knows he's keeping one of these teams. He might be the only smart guy in this. And he needs to say, I'm not signing this until I get a commitment from one of you. Which one of you wants to step up? And we'll go on the journey with you, with the county that you choose, whether it's Clay County or Jackson, whether it's Kansas City, Missouri, or North the River, whatever it may be. We'll go on the journey with you. Our 50% stands. We will do everything for you, but I need a commitment. Because I'm not going to be the governor that signs this and loses. Is that what he's waiting on? I mean, if I was governor, I think I would. I wouldn't sign it until they had a deal and said, we're ready to announce that we're staying. Why would you sign it into law to lose? The governor going to sit on this thing for 45 days. He's got 45 days to sign it. There's no hurry. He's probably the only smart guy in this thing. And I guarantee you the teams are talking with him today. And maybe it all works out. And maybe we learn within a week there's going to be a vote in Jackson County in November or something. I don't know. And the Chiefs and Royals are on board with that. Go for it. I'm for any of this, but I'm mostly for wrapping it up. I'm getting frustrated. This has taken way too long. It's frustrating and it's stupid. And these teams not saying, the Royals at least have said what they want. Their map is all over the place. You know, it's like Siri sending you on some sort of a wild goose chase. You ever try to pop the map in and follow your phone and it takes you somewhere and you're like, what the heck? And then it sends you to some address and it says you've arrived and you're still 6 blocks away. That's kind of what the Royals have been doing with all of us. But we know they prefer to be in Kansas City, Missouri. They want to be downtown or near downtown. We know that. Doesn't mean they're going to do that, but that's their preference. The Chiefs haven't really said anything, now have they? And this statement was the first thing out of his mouth, there's still work to be done. Thanks for the 50%. It still isn't 70%. That was Clark Hunt's statement. That's how I read it. 913-408-7957. You're listening to Uncancel. When we come back, you're going to meet Garner a little bit. What's in a name? Garner, let's do it next on KCMO. All right, a couple more cool stories here for you before we bring Garner in and ask him what is in a name. One is from USA Today's Dan Wolken. He's a very liberal sports writer. Like, he's Keith Olbermann crazy, and he works for USA Today. And he has blasted Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast, for apologizing to Riley Gaines over this transgender issue, men in women's sports. Biles gave one of the greatest apologies I've ever seen and admitted, listen, I don't know that much about this topic, and apologized for shaming Riley Gaines and saying you look like a man, which was offensive to a lot of people on the left. They're like, oh, my God, she's awful. Look at the things that Simone Biles has said. Well, it was so alarming to people on the left that Biles did this that Wolken has written a column and put a post up that says, this is insane. You never do this on the left. If you apologize, quote, you will get burned, unquote, by these people. And he's now claiming that Riley Gaines is taking a victory lap, burning Simone Biles. I thought I did it the right way. Let's at least recognize a real apology that was thoughtful and someone admitting that they didn't understand the issue very well. I can accept that every single time. This one's a beauty. It's a story we've been on now for weeks. Angel Reese is that wacky racist basketball player that plays in the WNBA that claimed the Indiana fans shouted like the N-word at her while she was shooting free throws, although nobody in the seats heard it. The WNBA has concluded that it didn't happen, and there was no action against Angel Reese for playing the fake race card. None. She now, this is just what, 4 weeks later? 3 or 4 weeks later. Now she says this. She's been getting all this heat on social media because she's a racist. At the very least, she's a race baiter. So now she posts, I get so much love in person compared to online where she's getting clobbered. Quote, I've never had negative encounters in person with anyone ever. Wait. Which is it? The fans, while you were at the free throw line, were screaming the N-word at you, or you've never had a negative encounter with a fan ever when it's in person? I'm really confused, Angel Reese. Again, she deserves to be suspended. All right, Garner, what's in a name? How did you get named Garner?
How did I get named Garner?
Yes, sir.
This is a really funny story.
All right.
My parents got it out of a crossword puzzle.
Really?
My first name is Garner and my middle name is Quillen. They got it out of a crossword puzzle. Garner means to gather or carry.
Yeah.
And Quillen is the basically the blade guard on a sword.
Okay, so they're not related. They're
No.
just too cool.
No,
cool words.
My dad saw him in a crossword puzzle.
So what did you think when the Chiefs signed Gardner Minshew as the backup quarterback to Patrick Mahomes, and how many times have people called you Gardner?
I get that a lot.
A lot. I knew
I
it.
get that a lot. Oh, yeah.
You must have loved it when they signed the stash.
Lots of people, a gardener all my life. All my freaking life, man.
And you're aware of Gardner Minshew, the quarterback? Were you aware of him before he came to the Chiefs?
No,
Okay.
no.
He started a little while. He's been around the NFL for a while. His first name is Gardner, and he is the backup, not a Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
So you're in for it now.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be calling you Gardner.
Oh, that's nothing new for me, man.
How about pop culture? You follow any of that stuff?
Somewhat.
You a Beyonce fan?
Not really.
What's her most famous song? Do we know?
Was it put a ring on it? All the single ladies.
Oh, the
that
single
one.
ladies, yeah.
that's what comes to mind for me.
She's
Yeah.
turned country, right?
Yeah, her last record was a country record, I guess.
She's on a big tour called Cowboy Carter.
Yeah, honestly, the whole thing is just like there's a team of producers and fashion designers behind her and songwriters, and she's one of those kind of pop stars. I doubt she even knows how to play an instrument. I could be wrong about that. That's just my speculation.
All right.
But I think she's one of those kind of pop stars where it's all image.
So
really.
I think most people have heard the name Versace, the designer. I didn't know this was a woman, Donatella Versace. Now,
I've heard Versace before.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
that's the brand, that's the clothing brand, but the first name's not on there. So Donatella Versace says she spent 11,000 hours designing 2 outfits for the Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour. I ran the numbers on this. If you worked 40 hours a week, 11,000 hours is over 5 years of work to create 2 garments. I call BS. Dude,
like
people
2 dresses in 5 years.
Yeah. No, she said, I worked on this.
Yeah.
Me, just me, her, not her staff, not the company, not total man hours. She worked on 11,000 hours. That's over 5 years at 40 hours a week. So what do these people think, that we're just stupid? Why is it these elite people just lie to us all the time?
I don't know. That's crazy. I don't buy that.
I mean, I wasn't even sure. When I heard 11,000 hours, I thought, have I worked 11,000 hours in my life? I didn't know how many hours that was, but I knew that it doesn't take.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's not 11,000 hours to make 2 garments. That was not going to happen. And Joey Chestnut may be returning to the July 4th hot dog eating contest.
Oh, the hot dog guy. Yeah.
This is the one that happens on ESPN at Coney Island on July 4th. Joey Chestnut is a 16-time mustard belt winner.
I don't think I could eat 1 hot dog, maybe.
Right. No, I just love it. But the crazy part is they call him Joey Jaws. They haven't got the contract done yet, but they think he's going to be back. Have you ever watched this? Do you know who Joey Chestnut is? If he walked in?
I've heard of him, but I've never seen it.
How many hot dogs could you eat in one sitting? I'm going with 3.
1, honestly.
1.
Just 1.
If they paid you big money to eat 3, could you do it?
God, it would physically kill me.
Thank you, Garner. The Vince Show's coming up next. Thanks for listening to Uncanceled.